Raider Nation, what's going on? Mitchell Renz from Chat Sports, and we got some conflicting Raiders rumors that I want to go ahead and talk about here on the Raiders Report. So yesterday, Vic TAFUR, he went ahead and he reported that, Josh McDaniels isn't one of these front runners to be the next Raiders head coach. Everything that I heard was the exact same thing. Ed Dodds had an absolute slam dunk of an interview on Wednesday, and all reports from TAFUR, from myself, from Paul Gutierrez, were all indicating that Ed Dodds was the front runner for general manager. Then a lot of this stuff happened here, and some of the Raiders beat writer guys, they do a pretty good job, but if McDaniels is the next head coach of Las Vegas, every single Raiders beat writer, it was a big old swing and a miss by them. Ian Rapoport today at 4:22 p.m. Eastern Time said, the Raiders have put in a request to interview Patriots offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels for their vacant head coaching job. Sources said the hope is that he interviews on Friday and he is considered a top candidate. Now, in terms of the overall news here, we knew that the Raiders were interested somewhat in Josh McDaniels, just like the Raiders are somewhat interested in Jim Harbaugh, though the top two candidates that a lot of people thought could be the next head coach of the Raiders have yet to actually get an official interview. What you see now is now Josh McDaniels has an official interview, and in terms of when the date is set, Rapoport saying Friday here, then he literally just sent out a tweet as I'm watching this, break this all down. He then went ahead and said that the Raiders interview is going to be on Saturday, so we'll see what day it is going to be exactly, but this is, again, more conflicting rumors around what exactly is happening with the silver and black. Like I mentioned earlier, TAFUR, he said that McDaniels wasn't the top candidate. The people that I have talked to have also indicated to me that McDaniels has never been the top candidate. And when you wonder, what is Mark Davis's process? You knew that he was talking to some people inside of the Raiders organization. I'm almost wondering if either Davis is just doing exactly what he wants, not listening to his team, or if his team just switched their minds like that. Both are very, very concerning. Or is this maybe potentially McDaniels' team trying to hype him up, trying to get his name out there a little bit more? Maybe by doing this, he can go ahead and get a few extra dollars and cents if a team is interested in bringing him in as a head coach. I think it could also be the Raiders. I mean, you see this very frequently with free agency or more or less trades when a story gets broken down, and what I'm trying to refer to here is about Jim Harbaugh. Could the Raiders be trying to wake up Harbaugh? It's been basically like 24 days. Not a lot of information has come out. Are the Raiders trying to draw Harbaugh out of his lair and say, hey man, we got Josh McDaniels ready to go for an interview Friday or Saturday. If we don't hear something from you, we're just going to move on. The reference I was making earlier is what a lot of times agents do. Oh, this player is getting some interest from XYZ team. When realistically, they're not getting any interest. They're just leaking the fact that they are getting interest in hopes that another NFL team goes, oh no, they're getting interest, and then goes in and tries to get them. Either way, a lot of really confusing stuff going on. So here's your opportunity, because this is what we do on the Raiders Report. I want you to sound off. Do you want the Raiders to go out and hire Josh McDaniels? I want you to type Y for yes, or I want you to go down in the comment section and type N for no. I haven't obviously looked into the future, or else I wouldn't be making this video here, but I'm going to go ahead and say that 80% of the people vote on this with an N for no. Now, tomorrow is going to be Friday, and if the Raiders decide to name a head coach, we will be going live. I don't care if it's Josh McDaniels. I don't care if it's Kermit the Frog. I am going to be going live here on the Raiders Report, breaking down everything going on around Las Vegas, around the head coach. But the other thing that's very interesting about this is this. All the reports out there have been Raiders are going to hire a GM first, then they will go to a head coach. I definitely believe that a lot of times you can see things where, sure, it might all come together, but this would be another idea of, I don't know, does the chicken come before the egg? Does the egg come before the chicken? The Raiders make things way more complicated than what they need to, but I'll have you guys covered whenever the Raiders decide to announce their head coach. So hit that big red button that says subscribe and turn on those notifications. Here was another tweet that came out about 3 minutes after from Rapoport. A pairing of Patriots de facto general manager Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels has always loomed for the Raiders. If all goes well tomorrow, it could happen. Now, when I went ahead and did my Raiders GM candidates video, when I first started talking about Dave Ziegler, the first thing I said was this: if Dave Ziegler is hired as GM, then look for the Raiders to go out and potentially bring in somebody like Josh McDaniels to be the next head coach. And if this is the route that you're going to go, I'm actually okay with the idea of having Ziegler and McDaniels, because from a realistic football standpoint, you can say what you want about the Patriot way. It's been extremely successful. Does Bill Belichick deserve a lot of credit in that? Yes, he absolutely does. But the last thing that I want is McDaniels to have way too much power. The last time that this man had way too much power was with the Denver Broncos, and that didn't go well. So I think if you're able to pair up Ziegler and McDaniels, it's more of a 50-50 split in terms of who's making decisions. Unlike Gruden had 51, Mayock had 49. It was way too much power on Gruden's hands. So if you're going to go this route, I'm actually okay with it. And then again, when I went ahead and broke down all of Mike Mayock's replacements, I still have Ed Dodds as number one. And I really, truly believe that Ed Dodds is the top candidate. However, though, Ziegler was my number two, and he was my number two because he was very well respected among a lot of NFL players, among a lot of NFL coaches. And when you have guys like Bill Belichick, who is about as stone cold as it is, and he speaks highly of you, that does also go a very long way. Now, I also know this. The Raiders also like Gerard Mayo. So Mayo was actually the first person that they decided to interview. Now, in terms of who was always the more likely guy to get hired, it was always Josh McDaniels over Gerard Mayo. So I just want to make this very clear. Just because the Raiders, let's say they go out and hire Dave Ziegler, that does not guarantee that they will go out and hire Josh McDaniels. They could, in fact, go out and hire Gerard Mayo. And if you follow a lot of the coaching candidates that the Raiders are bringing in, a lot of the guys are defensive-minded guys, which Mayo is, though I've been saying for a long time, I do want an offensive-minded coach, and that's exactly what Josh McDaniels is. So give me your one-word reaction. If the Raiders go out and hire McDaniels, let me know what it is. Now, I have called Josh McDaniels a fraud because I do. I would not trust McDaniels, and one of the reasons why I don't understand what Davis is doing is because this is kind of a little bit of a bad move overall. But give me your one-word reaction if the Raiders go out and hire Josh McDaniels. Here was another tweet that ended up coming in here from Rapoport. Raiders owner Mark Davis has had interest in Josh McDaniels for weeks. Hard to imagine he puts the request without believing McDaniels would take the job. This all gets real tomorrow. So another tweet there from Ian Rapoport, and everything that I am trying to figure out here with all the conflicting reports is this: Mark Davis is doing what he wants, and I get it. If you're the owner of a business, if you're the owner of a football team, you can go ahead and do what you want. But there is that old saying that there are certain teams that stay bad for this exact reason. You need to be able to find yourself a group. You need to be able to go ahead and get some eyes on overall what exactly is going on with this organization, because Davis might be a good business owner, but I don't think he's ever proven to me that he is a good football operator and knows what's best for the Raiders organization, whether it was in Oakland or in Las Vegas. Now, the Raiders here, what I'm also hearing is this, that they could also get Champ Kelly as an assistant GM. One of the things that I continue to say on the Raiders is I don't want somebody to have too much power. So if your idea is, okay, I'm going to bring in Josh McDaniels, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Dave Ziegler, I'm also going to bring in Champ Kelly. I'm also getting a report right now that keep an eye out for Dan Martindale, Wink Martindale, as a potential DC candidate if Josh McDaniels is hired. So that's also very interesting. And if anybody out there wants to take a break from all this crazy Raiders content and bet on some NFL playoff games this weekend, you can go ahead and do so. All you got to do is go to chatsports.com/Raiders. Use promo code Raiders125. That's going to get you 125% deposit bonus, which means if you put down 100, you're going to get $125 for free to bet with. Now, I'm not afraid to go ahead and say this. Personally, I think if Mark Davis goes out and hires McDaniels, it's a spit in the face of Raider Nation. And it's also a spit in everything that I think all the players and the entire organization has been through. Rich Bisaccia is regarded as being a good dude, a very well-respected man. How can you sit here as an organization being through everything that you went through this year and tell your players that, hey, I have confidence in Josh McDaniels being a good leader? The last time McDaniels was offered a head coaching job, He literally had families. He had an entire staff move to Indianapolis and then backed out at the last minute. That's not what a man does. That's what a little boy does. That's what a coward does. So I really, truly believe McDaniels might be a good football mind, but I really think this would be a spit in the face of Raider Nation. And my last point here before I probably get out of here because I'm a little bit upset, I wish Mark Davis would get more help running the team. If you need my help, my Twitter, my Instagram is at MitchellRenz365. If you need those crazy monkeys that got deserted in my hometown in Danville, Pennsylvania, maybe we can get them on the phone too. But if Mark Davis is the only one calling the shots, I've learned this. If you keep trying to do the same thing over and over again, and Rapoport just tweeted out again that, hey, Mark Davis has always liked to swing for the fences. I like to swing for the fences too, but swinging for the fences doesn't always mean success. Hell, Barry Bonds leads the MLB and most home runs of all time is not in the Hall of Fame. I know, I'm going off on a tangent, but it's because I'm upset. So who do you want as the next Raiders head coach? I mean, at this point, there's a lot of things pointing towards Josh McDaniels. It's really interesting, though, because I know Jim Harbaugh's been thrown out there. Todd Bowles is actually interviewing today for the position. We've had a few other names come up, but at the end of the day, you got to realize this. The beat reporters, a lot of these people, they missed, and there was a lot of conflicting reports, so I'm going to go ahead and do my best to give you all the information that I know. Now, one thing that I do know is this. I'm going to be going live on Instagram this weekend, basically 1 hour before kickoff of the first playoff game, which I believe is at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, or maybe it's at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I don't know. I'm going to go live on Instagram, bottom line. Hit me up at MitchellRenz365. Hopefully everyone enjoys their Thursday. We'll figure out really quick tomorrow who is going to be the next head coach, because if that interview goes well, it could be Josh McDaniels. And if it is Josh McDaniels, as you guys know, I'm going to be going live here on the Raiders Report.